I've probably been in 12 shootouts.
Oh my God.
I had a life where
one is a lot, but 12.
But that's when I didn't even think it was unusual back then.
Oh my God.
To have gotten shot, that was like.
Well, you've been shot?
And what? Yeah.
Welcome back to Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing. If you're not subscribed, you know the drill. Hit the button. I say it every time. And by the way, if I say that and you don't do it, like, quite honestly, fuck off, dude. Like, have you heard the message? Do you get it at this point? It's the #1 podcast in the world. I'm not making that up. I couldn't make that up.
No.
Stats.
Science.
Analytics. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Really? Today's gonna be a quiet one. I don't know if you guys can tell. The person sitting to my left is not Hey Big Mike.
Yeah. I feel really close to you right now.
Well, our knees are touching.
Yeah.
All right, so Mike,
nice.
Guys, Mike's not here. He actually quit. Sort of. It was like a mutual, like, I'm firing you, and he quit.
Wait, I thought he went to Miami. He's fired?
No, he went to Miami because I fired him.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Mike, you are not allowed back in the Maverick house, and I am filing a restraining order against you. Bro, but it's not been bad. Like, I love Mike. Loved. And the house has just been much more quiet, a lot less thoughts running around. It's been really good.
You actually fired the man?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I'm joking. I didn't fire Mike. He's in Miami. He's in Miami being a degenerate, as we know, on a yacht with models and other famous people. Oh, he got a brand deal, I think.
Wow.
I think he got a brand deal.
So he's really moving up.
Sort of. So am I, though, because the 20%.
20%.
Yeah,
that's pretty close.
Sorry, Mike. I will be sending you an invoice.
What's he doing?
Like in Miami?
Yeah.
Probably something. He's on a yacht, dude.
He's on a yacht.
Actually, Bella Thorne is there too, who we just had on. I believe Austin McBroom is there. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah. I saw his story.
Something's going
some
down.
stuff going on.
Hey man, have you ever thought about like how dangerous it is to like literally just be too dope for your own good? What?
Oh,
No, like be too dope for like if you reach a point where you're so cool, you're too cool and you hurt yourself because of it.
Yeah. I'm approaching there, so I haven't given it too much thought.
Yeah,
but
you are close.
I'm about it.
I'm asking because when I was in Ohio, Jake's videographer Andrew Blue. He's a super dope guy. In fact, he's too dope. He's too dope for his own good. He was that guy who goes and like pours bottles in everyone's mouth at the club, and he's like the life of the party type guy. And he kept doing that so much and to himself. And you know, at the end of the night, he's the guy that's passed out in the middle of the party.
Too dope
For your own good. Because when he was being the life of the party and he was that guy, I was like, wow, so cool guy that he's doing that and making everyone laugh and smile. And then at the end of the night, I was like, oh shit, like you really outdid yourself this time, guy.
Does that happen to you? Do you become too dope?
No, I'm really good at handling my alcohol. Even when I'm like hammered, you'd never know, dude.
What's your secret to doing that? Some people just don't have that.
Bro. It's a mental game, bro. Like, when you know this, I'm sure you're probably the same way. Like, my mental is so strong.
Yeah.
Like, no alcohol is going to get in there and tell me what I should do.
When I used to drink and I got to that level, like I could handle my alcohol very well. You're right. And when I would drink back in the day, I just had this mode where it's like, you gotta get to somewhere safe and sleep. And I would it was like a beeline.
Yeah, you have to do
the safest location.
Life or death.
Yeah.
Me, bro, when I'm like that, I always have to first brush my teeth, take my shoes off. Like, I'm never the guy that comes home and just passes out on the bed fully clothed with face down.
Really?
Did you?
Oh, that's happened.
Really?
Yeah.
No, bro. For some reason, my teeth are always brushed, my socks are always off, and I'm under the covers, tucked nice and neat away.
That's good.
But I will advocate, like, don't drink ever. I'm not drinking. I'm done drinking for good.
Yeah, forever. And something just doesn't feel.
I mean it this time. I'm really on a binge, a cleanse right now. I'm also gluten free. Got to protect my vocal cords. I'm headed to Sweden to make music for 2 weeks. So,
all right, good.
You'll catch me on the Spotify top 10 charts.
You're gonna finally release some music?
No, I'm just recording it. It's going to be a while. Sorry. I'm blue balling everyone. Something Mike is probably experiencing right now. I want to introduce our guest, guys. Yo, today's a big one for me. This is fucking awesome. Our guest today is our first that can definitely kick my ass. He's a black belt in the 8 martial arts and a true movie star. You've seen him in The Dark Knight, Why Did I Get Married, Never Back Down 2, and he is Spawn. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Michael J. White. Damn, bro. I can't believe this. This is fucking awesome.
Oh, my pleasure.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Good meeting you, fellas.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh, but this.
Yeah. If at any moment you want to beat his ass, you have full permission.
Well,
no.
Yeah.
I mean, please don't.
No, it's all love here, man. You know, hey, you right down the street from me.
I didn't know that. We're like neighbors.
Yeah. So it's good. It's
It's a good place to live, man. Like,
Yeah.
and you got a family now, correct?
absolutely.
So you got a full on family. It's a nice family neighborhood. But you're right. It is all love here. And in most of your movies, like I see you pretty intense and kicking ass, and like I'm never sure what to expect when the person walks in here. But you're all smiles and positivity.
Yeah, that's the real me.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
honestly, you know, I hate to kill it for you,
No,
but
it's
like,
all good.
You know, I mean, there's facets of my personality that, you know, I mean, I can go from here to here, like we all can.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we got that edge in us. You know,
Does that come from somewhere? Like, are you
oh
channeling
hell
that?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
I grew up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I grew up in Brooklyn and Bridgeport, Connecticut. So I've been on my own since I was 14. I had a whole lot of like adversity, but I love it because that's what makes me appreciate life where I am now.
Yeah.
So that's where the smiles are coming from. These smiles were not there like the first half of my life.
When was that switch?
Oh man, when I realized I was chasing my dream, and you know, if you're chasing your dream, if you're one of those people lucky enough to follow what's in your heart,
Yeah.
you already won.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, hey, you know, that whole, you know, the journey thing.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really about that. So, you know, when I knew I already won because I'm doing what I want to do, it didn't matter if it happened for me or not. I was following, you know, I basically had my hand on the steering wheel of my life, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's when everything changed because, I mean, like I say, it was a gift. What's his name? Roberto Benigni said he did that Life is Beautiful movie a long time ago. I'm old, but he said he had the gift of poverty. And I really think of it as a gift because, I mean, where I had to come from, oh my goodness, man. I remember when I had problems. And so now, I mean, my kids still can attest that they've never even seen me angry. Because Really, because it's
Wow.
like, what do I have to be angry about? If I'm complaining about my problems now, I should be slapped.
Damn.
You understand? Because
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
having serious problems.
What
I've
were
been
some of
in-
those problems?
I've probably been in 12 shootouts.
Oh my
I've
god.
been. I mean, I had a life where
one is a lot,
But-
but 12.
But that's when I didn't even think it was unusual back
Oh my
then.
God.
To have gotten shot, that was like.
Well, you've been shot?
And what? Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you get shot?
Well, in Brooklyn, no, I'm kidding. But in the arm and in the hip.
Jesus,
But it's but you know, it's like I'm saying, like, you know, I came from a place where, man, life was really hard. And if you carry that ethic, you know, the character developing hard times in your life, this makes you, if you know where to put them, they're so valuable. Like, you know, I checked into you, you know what I mean? I got but I mean, man, the man you're becoming, and it's like you wouldn't have that if you didn't make the missteps.
Yeah,
And because there's some people who never learn from it and they never evolve, right? So, you know, what a blessing that you have a misstep so you can evolve from it and become better.
Very true.
Because now you're tested.
Very true.
Yeah.
You just posted this on your Twitter, actually, which I think relates to this. What is defeat? Nothing but education. Nothing but the first step to something better.
Absolutely.
So I was just gonna say, so when you were going through, when you were in your impoverished times where life may have not been so easy, how did you find the strength within you to get out of that, or have the drive to get out of that? Because now you're absolutely right. Like I feel the same way. I don't have much to complain about. You use the analogy of hand on the steering wheel of life. I like to say, like, I feel like I've always like sort of puppeteered my life. And it's easy to look back and say right now, like, I don't have much to complain about. But back in the day, did you find yourself complaining? Why me? Why me? Why me? Or what was your mentality during that time?
Well, I mean, largely, see, I didn't know it was that unusual.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Until like later. Sometimes, like, there would be times where I remember, you know, being out here chasing the Hollywood thing, and an old girlfriend went back east with me. And we, you know, palled around with some of my old friends.
Yeah.
And she thought, like, oh, you guys are pulling my leg. That didn't really happen. And I was like, no, it did. This is like, word for word. We would have these stories, but that was just like, I mean, it was I remember one time there was I'll make it short, but it was like I was hanging around a lot of hood type cats, and I had a lot of fire in me. I had a lot of anger, and this is one of the things that I want to point out. A lot of the most violent folks I ever grew up, or the most violent people they basically they're protecting themselves from their sensitive nature. Basically, it's what you do is if you feel a great deal about if you're an emotional person and you're growing up in a harsh reality.
Yep.
What you do is you protect yourself. It's just like armor. You create armor. And so that rah-rah, this fighting, the lifting weights, all of the hardening myself became the armor, because deep down I was a sensitive person who loved the hell out of things. And my brother, who was an engineer, was completely the opposite. Just everything rolled off his back, but everything affected me. Just like I later played Mike Tyson, who was very much like me. And you think about somebody like Mike Tyson, he's like one of the most brutal people you ever want to see, but he's the first guy to go to tears in an interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's two sides of the same coin. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people grew up thinking, and taking the moniker of, I'm a warrior, I'm a killer, I'm this and that. But deep down, they feel so strong. This misplaced love. That's why you see gangsters like die for their street.
Yeah.
Die for their hood, die for their homeboy. That little thing, because they have so much love that they don't know what to do with it. And so that's the nature of somebody sensitive. That's why a lot of these violent people like myself were artists deep down. But you find out who you really are. And so, when I learned, this is who I am. Later, before I was an actor, I was a school teacher, and I started teaching kids who were a lot like me. So I've been on my own since I was 14. So so I experienced a whole lot of, it's crazy when I look back at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Stuff that you see on movies. Luckily, I can dip into that to recreate for my art. But yeah, I mean, I realized just seeing some of the right images at the right time that there was another way. There was another way. There was another, I saw this black family moving into this house. This attractive couple one time. I was leaving a gang fight. I was on my bike.
This is in Brooklyn.
Well, this is in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which was worse than Brooklyn.
Okay.
At the time. We got in a fight. I was about 15. Cops came. I was on a bike, dodging, trying to get out of there. I found myself in a neighborhood I'd never seen. I didn't even know it was around. It was these beautiful houses like built around a lake, right? In Bridgeport, Connecticut. It was actually called Lakeview. And I saw this young black couple moving into this house. And I was like perplexed. From that moment on,
Really?
I wanted to be just like those people. I realized at that moment that that's why I'm so angry. I haven't seen this image. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, I wanted to be like them. But the day before that, I wanted to be like this dude named Brett, who had machine guns in his car and had all the respect in the hood.
Damn.
So you didn't have the family dynamic to look up to, or what was your family dynamic like?
Well, it was a single family, single mom. It's like very, very common where I was from. Actually, it's one of those things that people learn how to blame their family, and their fathers and whatever. That's bullshit. I like to say, I had a pre-existing condition because I was nothing like my brother, right? This was who I am. I could blame my father and everybody's going to agree with me. Nobody's going to tell me I'm wrong.
Yep.
But that's what we learn how to scapegoat. We learn how to blame things that other people are going to respect and say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But, the fact is, I was the way I am. I acted out. My mom was, she was, wasn't Ozzie and Harriet, but I learned that, hey, it's a me thing. Eventually saw the right, like I said, saw the right images at the right time. And I said, oh, wait a minute. That's why I'm so angry. This is what I want to become. And so, I mean, you know, I'm like one of the most luckiest people on the planet because those, you know, those images came along right at the right time.
Yeah. It sounds like an extreme timing thing. I want to ask, that facade of armor that you were talking about, is that bad? Is that a bad thing to have, or is there like a message maybe you're trying to spread to not do that, or was that necessary?
It's like I want people to understand themselves.
Okay.
Just like when I was teaching school, when I was teaching EMD, emotionally disturbed children, very much like me, a lot of them didn't understand their own nature. Like I didn't understand mine. So yeah, I loved to fight at the time. It was my, you know, it was my, I just had to have that outlet.
Interesting.
Right? So martial arts helped.
Did you know how, like, were you taking martial art classes?
Oh yeah, but I didn't take it for the great reasons. I took it because I wouldn't get in trouble for fighting. So, you know, I used to fight grown men like, you know, it's 14, 15. I stopped growing at 13. I was this height.
No, you're lying.
No joke. I was this height, and I had a deep voice too.
That's terrifying.
So so it was like I got away with a whole lot. Like I was dating grown women when I was like 14 years old, 14 and 15.
I know how that works.
Yeah.
Not personally. I know a guy. I know a friend of mine.
Okay. Yeah.
It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes is, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener during a war.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what your story kind of reminds me of. You seem to have translated that warrior into being able to operate and function in a garden.
Yeah, it's like, hey, that edge, it's like a fire, you know, and fire could cook the food or it could burn the house down. You just got to know what to do with it, right? But I think you're blessed to have that fire. You're blessed to have that passion. But like in an arena, in an environment where that humility and that feeling is deemed a weak quality, it does a number on the psyche. Because, you know, I mean, I could fight anybody tooth and nail and then go to tears because there's an abandoned dog somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm feeding squirrels and I'm supposed to be this hard ass dude. But like, I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, but it's like I say, it's part of the same human being. That's who I was. I'm the art. You know, I've been this artist all my life. Till, you know, when I found out, really, this is what I'm supposed to do. You know, then everything changed. You know, I found basically, you know, it's like what they say. You know, we're throwing all these sayings around. Mark Twain says is two most important days is the day you were born and the day you find out why.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
But now, but to find out why, man, and you know what you're supposed to be doing. Man,
well, there's a lot of people that
is better than that.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that really struggle with that. And not only do they struggle, they beat themselves up because they don't know why they're alive. So how can...
I was going to say, especially today, like with social media and everything, like I think that's why I'm exaggerating here. Everyone's depressed is because they are unsure of their purpose or don't feel fulfilled because they have not found it yet.
And they see a lot of it's comparison. You know,
well, because I mean,
a lot of people.
Social media is just like toxic for that.
Yeah. It's people. It's hard to develop now. You got to get around your own influences, and sometimes it's like even your own peer group. And when you're doing, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, just like in the hood, I'm supposed to be a gangster. That's represent good if you're coming from the hood, right?
Yeah.
Well, you questioning or you being depressed is commonplace. So that is a choice now. That's one of the things is when you're under angst and you're very impressionable. That's one of the boxes you check. Are you depressed? Yeah, I'm depressed. Now people have become so sophisticated. Sometimes all of that knowledge can kind of hinder your growth. But all around it's going to be an evolution. But your age group has a lot of distractions.
Well, I've talked about this before. This is like kind of a touchy subject, but like especially with like depression and any sort of mental disorder, it's tough now because people who maybe feel like sad for a couple of days in a row because they're in high school and they broke up with their partner are now depressed because they see it on social media, because you do have very courageous celebrity social media stars opening up about true, like, by the way, clinical depression. And now I think it's the go-to, and I think hopefully we can grow out of that and people can adopt the mindset that you had, where it's like you can choose to live in what you've been bred to believe and think.
Absolutely.
Or you can say like, okay, like my dad may not have been there for me, but I'm not going to blame everything on him, because now it's time to take life into my own hands.
Yeah, because when you have your peer groups, you tend to agree with. You talk about the low hanging fruit and the things that will gain acceptance in a crowded room. People have to have the courage to be that voice of dissension in the room. You gotta really, find out who you are, and the earlier you do that, and the more. That's why I love when you're doing things where you're, the greatest thing, man. You're so honest, and if people follow you and they like you, I hope they grasp what it is special about you is that honesty.
Thanks, man.
And to be that honest with themselves, because like I say, it's really difficult now. Like okay, say my father was a ladies' man, right? And if I was a ladies' man and I told everybody, yeah, I'm a ladies' man, like my father was, oh, that's acceptable. Now, if I said, well, I'm a one-woman man because my father was a ladies' man, that would be acceptable as well, right? So just that assigning blame is just, we become black belts in that. People just do it. It's just, I just want to encourage people not to go for the low-hanging fruit, not to go for that easy thing, and just, okay, because a lot of times once you assess the blame, you feel like all the work is done.
Yeah.
It's not done. Go further. Think about it. It's a great to be part of the palette, but continue. Just think about, okay, what am I doing? How much blame do I deserve, or how complicit am I in it? And your friends, be that for them as well. Because hey, man, your friendships are some of the most important relationships you'll ever have.
Thanks.
So put that time in. Don't let your friend, just appease himself by the low hanging fruit.
Yep. So you had a whole extensive Hollywood career, and I'm curious to see how you got into that. But this was a big one for you, Spawn. Spawn. This was big, dude. This was huge, and I want to talk a little bit about this and how this came about. And at what point in your career was this a turning point for you?
Yeah. Before that, I did a movie, the Mike Tyson story.
Yes. Okay.
So that's really kind of
which actually
put me,
picture this here too. I think
on.
You played Mike Tyson, and you met and like kind of adopted Tyson's character, correct? Like
he was in prison when I was doing the movie, but I had a few phone conversations with him while he was in.
Is that because when we talked to Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. He had spent an extensive amount of time with Leo. Did you get that privilege? Like, did you ever go to prison and like hang out with Tyson?
No, because when, in all honesty, what's Mike Tyson going to tell me? He's going to tell me how, he's going to gloss over things in a certain way. It's not like, hey, Tyson's, I felt like I understood him because a lot about me was similar.
Yeah.
That rage thing. I was really playing myself. It was
so many pictures here of you as Tyson, bro.
Right.
So you were playing. That's acting in general, right? You bring yourself to the character that you're playing.
Yeah, and you find out what characteristics that you have that's like him, and it's astonishing the similarities that we had, because I was a karate champion early on, and when you were a kid and you were given this power, the power of a pugilist is it overrides any other celebrity power.
Yeah.
Because like if you had a a room full of dignitaries, political, you got Obama, you got De Niro and all this stuff, and then Tyson walks in the room, everybody's looking at him.
Yeah.
Okay, because in a male-dominated society, this worship of pugilists like kind of reigns supreme, and that's a twisted thing to give to a youngster. And so when I'm doing martial arts, and a lot of times with martial arts, people's imaginations get carried away, and they go, it's kind of like a man thing that it's like in a crowded room, and somebody goes, "That guy's the most dangerous person in the room." Everybody goes, "Yeah," It's this weird thing. And it's like, luckily I went through my asshole phase early. Like I remember times where I'd be in a room and people didn't know I won this championship or not. And I'd segue like quite bullshitish into like, speaking of collard greens, when I won the championship,
those are the best transitions.
Yeah, and I've
do this all the time.
And I like I've heard myself these asshole segues because I was used to this attention. Like I say, these missteps make you kind of go, "Oh shit, I am an asshole right now," and you kind of go,
"Wait, no one told you?"
No, I mean, I heard myself.
People tell me that sometimes.
Well, sometimes it's a benefit if somebody has if they're going to be honest enough to tell you that.
Well, also like,
are you in the asshole phase, bro?
Me? No, I passed my. But also like, fuck, bro, I'm a nice guy, but when I gotta be an asshole, I'm gonna be an asshole.
I think the asshole phase is, like you said, it's over. I think it comes out if someone really messes up. Like
bro, you'd have to
I've messed up a couple times, but you weren't really an asshole even.
You'd have to extensively mess up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Mike is probably the only one who probably gets that.
You can really push my buttons, that guy.
Yeah, well, you're a real sensitive cat, man. It's like you beat yourself up.
Me?
Yeah, you beat. You beat yourself up. But
I'm not.
That's cool. That's cool.
Now break into him.
Yeah. It's a certain point where people will kind of get you for your sensitivity and
how do you see that with Logan? What in particular?
Well, you have a daughter, right?
Oh, he's trying to transition there.
You have 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm wondering because like how would he know other than like maybe his daughters watch like Jake or I?
All right, respect.
Is that true, or am I being exaggerated here?
I don't know. I feel like he can just read energy, man. He's a black belt. He could kill you right now. I think he knows everything about you.
Listen, is that true? Like, have you seen any of my stuff? Or?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No.
My daughters know you.
There we go.
Yeah, and one was just talking to me about she's waited on you, and there's a grocery store that she works at, and one day you came in there and bought all the peanut butter and jelly. Do you remember that?
Was she working?
That was
there?
recent.
Yeah.
I said hi.
Yeah, you were cool. Yeah,
Fuck yeah, man.
Did she check us out?
Yes.
Like
I remember that. I remember that.
She checked you out.
right.
She checked you out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, of course not like admire
She didn't
how
check
we
us out.
look.
She checked us
It
out.
wasn't an appearance thing, obviously. Michael J. White, I would never disrespect you or your family, or especially not your daughters.
That's what I'm saying. That's oversensitivity.
No.
Like, you come on, man. Hey.
You got any sons?
Yeah.
That's cool. Maybe we can throw a football, man, sometime. Bro, fuck, I'm sweating.
Up, bro.
No,
Yeah,
listen,
nervous.
hey, when your daughters come home with like a boy, has it happened yet?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but, I hate to, be all mean on the...
I mean, you don't have to be
You don't
mean,
even
but
have to be mean, dude. You just have to speak.
Well, she comes...
You sound like the old Spice guy, but just like could kill you.
I really don't have to because, she's kind of tough anyway. And she basically comes home with guys that she has on a leash.
Oh, I need me a girl like that.
She's no joke. She's
Respect.
like,
but are they on the leash because of you?
Sit there, you do this, and no, it's because of her. She's like, my daughters, man, they're no joke.
Have you ever had to, I don't know, dig into a guy who's disrespected your daughter? Like,
no, haven't had to. I think they're kind of well trained.
Yeah, they got good eye.
Yeah,
just flex the
for
peck
non-asshole
once.
dudes.
Yeah, I got a 10-year-old that's just gonna destroy people.
Oh,
Yeah,
a son?
The daughter.
A daughter.
Yeah,
she's like feisty like that.
Yeah. She's testing for a black belt soon too.
Damn.
Yeah, she's
Damn.
got a left hook on her.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I do too. You can ask my boxing coach. Which, by the way, shout out Milton for making this happen.
Oh, yeah.
That's my boxing coach. You're the second guest he's brought on. I'm not really sure how you're doing it, Milt. Puerto Rican, he says.
He says that about everything.
He really does, huh?
Yeah,
So he eats peanut butter and jelly. We ask why. He says, I'm Puerto Rican.
And by the way, the peanut butter and jelly we put all over my body, and I went to a dog park, and the dogs licked me. Story for another day. Cops were called.
For real? That really happened?
That happened.
Okay.
That happened.
Can you imagine the cops roll up and I'm like literally fully, I have peanut butter
I'm trying
all
not to
over my body.
imagine that.
You don't have to,
trying, yeah.
but it was weird. I told the cops, I'm like, this is not my proudest moment. I definitely hate myself, but please, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Anyways, you are a black belt in 8 martial arts.
Yeah.
What are those exactly?
I got to take a deep breath on this one. It's Kyokushin, Shotokan, Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, Goju, Shokaru. Did I say Kobudo?
I don't know, man.
I just yeah. This all sounds like a damn menu. But
I mean, that's a lot, man. So how do you decide how many disciplines can you learn before it's too many? Or have you ever mastered one to the 4th, 5th degree black belt type?
Well, yeah. Well, for me, it's I always tried to pick things that were very different. I do wushu. I've done that.
Oh yeah,
wushu is very flowery, very it's hard. It's the hardest one to learn.
Okay,
just like ballet is harder than karate.
Yeah.
Because at my size, doing all this splitty, extension and
ballet's
stuff,
fucking hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So to be for me, for my size to do wushu means everything else is easy. So there's a benefit with every martial arts. If you're doing jujitsu, well, I actually started with jujitsu, but there's a benefit to each one. I mean, but I look at it like in life. I never look at anything from one perspective. You got this, now go do this. And and it's keeping you humble. Because you put it on a black belt over here, you put it on a white belt over here. Now you got to be humble again.
Yep.
You gotta learn. So and the greatest thing about martial arts is overcoming obstacles. That's what it's all about in life. So if I train myself to overcome obstacles, then I'm training that from the inside. The musculature, the effectiveness, the dangerous stuff is as a result of what I'm doing from the inside. A lot of people look at, you kick ass. Well, it's more so the intention, my inclination or my mindset to go through you is much more dangerous than the techniques themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's about that work ethic that it trains. So if I have to get a 3rd job to feed my family, it's about my discipline. So that's the benefit of martial arts. It's not just I can kick people in the head.
Yeah.
It's about, it should be tantamount to the Navy SEALs.
We were just talking about this yesterday about discipline. Is there a correct way to transition that into your kids? We were trying to figure out if it's okay to spank your kids or is martial arts or putting them through those kind of things a better route?
I love it. I think it's great because it's individual. It's not like a team effort, right? You get success in the basketball team is because it's the effort of the team.
Yeah.
But say track and martial arts, that's because, one day you can't touch your toes and years later you're split and you're doing the splits and all that. Yeah. But that's the first time I saw you. That's where, I was like, you mean the split guy?
Yeah.
And so it's about that whole, just like the belt levels, you're overcoming things. And even though, of course, it's the distraction is like you're a badass, but it's about really what you're putting into it.
Did you do boxing? Because I'm curious why you chose martial arts instead of boxing. When I was younger,
I did box.
Okay, you did.
I was doing a lot of that at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot at the same time. And like I say, I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet because I trained with some of the best boxers in the world.
Gotcha.
Yeah, best trainers. Freddie Roach, Joe Goosen, Tommy Hearns. My best friend is a guy named Frankie Lyles. He was super middleweight champion, WBA super middleweight champion for 5 years straight.
So,
and I did all of his his boxing camp. So I was like really infused in boxing. And that's how I got to know Mike Tyson, because he was a stablemate of Mike Tyson.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So why didn't you pursue a career in combat sports? Because I mean, like, you're a big fucking dude, man. Like, if you were thrown in the UFC, how do you think you would do?
Very well.
Really?
Very well.
Because like, you're not out here with the facade of fighting knowledge. You've been doing it your whole life.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would be the unknown with me, UFC wise, is a bit of
Wrestling?
No, I wrestled in college.
Oh, shit.
But it's how well my chin would hold. I mean, I've been, I've always been pretty good with taking shots, and but I basically I was a very gifted fighter.
Gotcha.
But it never was. I mean, I always like to test myself. If there was somebody who won a championship somewhere, I would fly to train with that person. To this day, I go to train with every great fighter that I possibly can.
Wow.
And like I say, I'm very lucky. Like I've trained with like probably some of the best people. Like this guy named Bill Wallace, who was one of my instructors. I've trained with him since I was 17. He was the best kicker ever. And Benny Urquidez.
Yeah, your kicks are fucking insane, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
Look, I have this clip here. This is you fighting Kimbo. This is literally one of my favorite fight scenes of all time.
Oh, thanks.
Please don't copyright me.
That's typically clear.
This double kick right here. What the fuck?
My God.
Damn. Yo. That's fucking crazy.
But like I said, I've trained with some great folks, and there's one moment in there that I got to give thanks to Billy Blanks of all people.
Okay.
Right, Billy Blanks. He's you know who he is, right?
Billy
the
Blanks.
Taibo guy.
Typo guy.
You don't know? Oh wow!
Hold on, I have Google.
Old.
No, hold
I'm
on.
old.
Billy Blanks. I have Google. I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
This guy?
Yeah, the Taibo, the
American Guru.
Yeah. So we used to have sparring on Saturdays, right?
Oh yeah.
And he,
Okay.
so Billy was a point system fighter.
Okay.
And so I would go and train point system with him, right? And it's kind of like a game of tag, almost like fencing. And so he was like the world champion in that. And so I would always I don't care who, if you're a great wrestler, I'm going to go at you with wrestling. And
Gotcha.
so with Billy, we would do this game of tag thing, right? And one time, because it's like kind of you're trying to outspeed each other.
Yep.
And one time, my feet came together, and I was trying to see if I can get away from his lead punch, and he faked it, and he swept me. Right, my legs go up in the air, but while I'm in the air, he backfisted me before I landed.
That's
Right?
fucking awesome.
And I cheered it. It was so cool, right? That I put it in that fight scene.
It was this one.
Really?
Yeah.
It was this one right here, right?
Yeah. What?
Wait. Oh no, it's this one, right?
We're coming up right here. This. Boop. Bam. But I mean, Billy didn't do that. I kind of added some stuff. I did a spinning sweep, but because of Billy, swept my feet out and then, did a back fist before I landed, it's like, I loved it. And it's like, you're learning things.
Yeah.
Like so, I mean, I've over years, I'm been trying to, get to train with like John Jones and people like that. It's
Yeah.
like, I love this stuff. And I don't mind if I got, bested, or it's not about the ego. It's about the experience.
Have you trained with John?
Not yet. I actually went, I was going down to Jackson Winklejohn, and every day that say, he's going to come this day or whatever. And we were talking in between each other, and I don't know, he just never showed up.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that dude, I think he's the best fighter to ever
is.
enter the UFC.
He is, and he's gotten better. Yeah. He's actually gotten better. He does I really have broken his style down a lot of time, and I don't want to sound like I'm patting myself on the back or anything, but a lot of people when they first saw him, they thought we trained together because we have this unusual type of movement That's why I always wanted to spar with this guy. He has a kind of an untelegraphed type of moving.
Gotcha.
And, there's kind of a style I look at as I consider it cheating, in a certain way. You're direct to the point.
Yeah.
And he realigns himself in movement. He and Conor McGregor, there's few people who know how to align themselves during movement. And I think, I always wanted to know, does he realize he's doing that? Or did he train on it? I think he's just a natural athlete.
Well, I mean, he is, his brothers are all insane, right?
But yeah, he's
like in the NFL.
Yeah,
one of them, I think
but
two of
he's
them are.
doing things that I'm like not sure if he. I mean, there's stuff that I'm a martial art nerd. And
You're probably super like technical about everything, right? Like you're studying
Yeah.
it like a test.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then there's certain footwork things that I kind of wonder if he's on top of. Like I've got, I'd love to.
Hey,
move
John,
around with the
we
guy.
know he watches this podcast. Yo, John, can you give Michael J. White a chance, please? We know you're watching. Like and subscribe.
That would be fun. That would be so much fun.
So why didn't you pursue a career in combat sports?
It's not worth it. It's just, I'm sorry, bro. It's just not worth it.
I'm there right now.
No,
dude.
I mean, I feel like I have a kinship with Joe Rogan to some degree. We're both martial art nerds. Joe, I've seen Joe tap like champions.
Yeah,
And-
he's a beast.
Right?
Have you seen him
he's-
kick?
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. But it's like when you are, you know who you are, and it doesn't require your full attention.
Yeah.
But you stay around it because you love it.
Yeah.
And it's about. I mean, I get a chance to train with Rampage and Josh, Josh Barnett and all these people anyway, and train with them at their facilities.
Yeah.
And with Michael Bisping, people like that. I'm sparring with like these guys are like the best. So, I get a chance to do that anyway.
Yeah. Well,
so why would I do it on camera and devote my life to it and at such a lower pay grade?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nowhere.
It's dangerous, dude. Like when I was in high school and I was wrestling, I was also doing mixed martial arts, and I wanted to be a UFC fighter. I wanted to join the UFC, and then I got a little older and a little smarter and like a little more talented. And then I was like, not only is it like the Hollywood creative stuff more fun, but I mean, like fighting is dangerous. It is dangerous.
It's very
man.
dangerous. And I'm sorry, you don't want to. I don't know one former UFC champion whose position I want to trade myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I happen to, I see the, warts and all, and what happens to fighters. I know so many fighters that were at the top, making millions and all that type of stuff. And you don't want to see where they are now.
Right.
That's not the life that a lot of people, and sometimes it's, I know if I was younger, I would have went that route, but I know what my capabilities are. I'm directing, producing. I have my own, studio.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of things that I couldn't have possibly done had I gone that route.
Yeah. Soldier brain.
Yeah, and then you look at Joe Rogan, right? He's going to mean more to the world of martial arts doing what he's doing than he ever could have as a fighter.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And myself as well.
So do you think, because I have very limited knowledge on this, so I know from the Shaolin Temple and Shaolin Kung Fu, that was brought to Shaolin monks not to promote fighting, but for protection, right?
Yeah, well,
So-
no. I'm gonna
Please,
make some people
dive in.
angry on this one,
Here
but
we
it's
go.
just the truth. Okay, here we go. The Shaolin Temple thing. Okay, just the truth. You can research this. Well, I mean, a guy named Don Mo brought Kung Fu and Buddhism to China, and from India to China, basically. He's a guy about my complexion, and with the Shaolin Temple.
So it wasn't Buddha.
No. I'm sorry. No.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I'm just-
Did you think there was a fat dude that came over?
Well, I knew he wasn't fat.
Yeah,
I knew
okay.
that was That was misconstrued.
Well, yeah. So no, it's Bodhidharma or Damo is the guy's name who brought kung fu and Buddhism to China, and there's statues and all that type of stuff of him. He's got nappy hair and
Is this him? Or is it Google the wrong image?
That's one that most of the real depictions are. He's the
Bodhidharma.
Yeah, Bodhidharma. Yeah. So, but anyway, how it goes back with the whole Shaolin Temple thing. We in this country had Westerns back in 60s and 70s and all that, even the 50s. We had Western movies, and then Japan had the samurai movies. A lot of them were the same kind of movie. But now when China got into the fray, they fictionalized this whole thing about the Shaolin Temple, and of course and when you see all those Shaolin movies, it's like that's 400 years ago because it was burned down. The temple was burned down back then.
Yeah,
that's why you always see cowboy movies and the advent of cars and guns and all that type of stuff in samurai movies as well. But you never see a Shaolin monk in a car, because they were decimated way back then.
Right.
So they chose to make movies about these kind of fictitious monks that were, kind of magical. They could have, chosen the Tibetan monks, and it would have been very similar. It's not like they were this amazingly fearsome force. It was about the movies. When you saw the movies, it made them as unstoppable as Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
But in actuality, you have people to this day going and training, in Shaolin Temple. But the current Shaolin Temple was erected in the 80s, like 85.
Yeah, the government came
Whoa,
in and
really?
owns the temple
Yes.
now.
Oh, no.
And they
Oh, no.
and they paid farmers to walk around looking like Shaolin monks for tourism.
Oh, no.
Because they opened China back up, right? So
You hate to see it.
So yeah, I'm sorry about this. But then later, they had guys doing kung fu for tourism. And then later, the Westerners come over there and basically are joining the Shaolin Temple. And they're getting taught and they're spending money and all this stuff. And then it's like, there are people who think that they have a lineage with the Shaolin Temple, and it's just like being a knight of the Round Table.
Right. It doesn't hold any legitimacy.
Is that Jay Shetty, dude? Like, should we tell Jay Shetty he's not a real Shaolin monk?
I don't think he claims to be a Shaolin monk.
He was
it's
a
just
monk, right? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
It's.
Are there any specific phonies that you've seen that we should be like?
Well, when you think about it, if a guy came in here and said, "I'm from the Knight of the Round Table. I'm a Knight of the Round Table," what would you say? It's roughly the same exact period.
I'd be like, show me some photos.
Yeah. So when people they're connected to the 83 to 85, reconstruction of a replica of the Shaolin Temple.
Wow.
So
and
it's
that's
always
where it is, because before then it was gone for 300 years.
Well, it's interesting how those things kind of happen, like the Library of Alexandria, how the Romans came in and burned the Library of Alexandria. So it's like the Roman history that we've studied and we know so much more about. We just still don't even know how pyramids were built, and there's so many things we don't know. It's because these governments and these forces come in and rewrite history.
Yeah, and movies are huge. Movies really, people, ninja. And it's like, okay, a ninja is really just somebody cloaking who they are, like a bandit. It's not like they're practicing a different art. It's not like, what I mean? It's the Hollywood movie thing has really colored a lot of people's impression of
sure.
But
Do you think it glorifies fighting?
Of course. There's a lot of it is glorified, and there's not really a lot of traditional true martial artists out there anymore, because when it became a business, the business led. Like I say, it should be tantamount to like the armed forces. There's going to be a lot more security guards than there are Navy SEALs, because it's easier to become a security guard or beat cop or something. So it's how martial arts is. I would say the majority of people who have black belts or would not have black belts way back in the day. Back when I was younger, you really had to be pretty darn tough. You've left like teeth on a floor somewhere.
Wow.
Your own and someone else's. There's usually that was the case. You had to. It was had
tough.
to cross the burning sands.
You got to rip a limb off to get that black belt.
Honestly,
I'd
what
do it. I would do it.
jujitsu is
Okay.
like now is what traditional karate was back in the day. You can't they don't hand you out a black belt in jujitsu. That is in essence what martial arts is now.
You got to snap limbs.
Well, no. There's nobody that
Snap
gets a
your-
black belt
snap
in
your limb.
jujitsu that's not humble because you had to become humble. There's no attitudes in jujitsu like that. I mean, because it has to adhere to real martial arts principles.
Yeah.
So that's, if you want to think about what martial arts used to be, look at jujitsu. That's what it's like. It takes people average like 8 to 10 years to become a black belt.
What do you think the most effective martial art is, or a form of combat fighting?
I'd have to ask you then in what circumstance, because like say if there's if you say you want to compete, if you want to do it as a sport, then
Let's say you don't want to do it as a sport.
Like you run up on?
Yeah,
On the
you
street?
run up on, you just want to kick some ass. Or you want to
gotta
go,
defend
someone stole your wallet and now it's time to get payback. Someone pushes your girlfriend, now it's time to fuck them up.
Well, I would have to say if you could train MMA, if that's probably the best thing right off. But if it was just a traditional martial art, I'd go Thai boxing. I would say Thai boxing a little bit before boxing and wrestling.
What's the difference between Thai boxing and boxing?
Because you're kicking, you're using the shin, the hips, elbows, strikes. A strike is going to like be to the point, like it's within a fraction of a second. It's not some kind of maneuver that you have to learn.
Yep.
So that's what I would say. I would say Thai boxing, then Western boxing, then wrestling.
What about Jeet Kune Do?
No.
You don't think that makes any?
What is Jeet Kune Do?
That's it's Bruce Lee's.
Yeah.
Intercepting the fist.
How possible
is it just
is
not?
that? How possible is that?
Exactly. See, we just think about that. The term intercepting fist. Okay, when you want to test something, test it against itself. Okay, Bruce Lee is fighting Bruce Lee. Whose fist is he going to intercept? His own?
No, he won't. He can't.
No, he can't. The first person who moves is going to. I mean, Bruce Lee would not. He's fast, but would he be able to intercept his own fist? But he can intercept somebody slower than him. That's like having a Mike Tyson style of boxing, which means I'll just hit you way harder than you hit me. You know what I mean?
What the fuck?
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
You know
that
what I
was
mean?
amazing.
So, so it's like that's not a style to base anything on. You hit people harder. You know what I mean? That's different. You can get away with things that other people can't. Bruce Lee's speed or whatever, and he's the greatest martial artist who ever lived because I mean he was always trying to perfect himself. And, he wasn't a real fighter. He didn't test himself in the ring. That's why, one of the things I make the distinction because my heart goes out to real fighters, people who feed their family and they go through it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Even myself, anybody that does movies, we don't get a chance to say that. We don't get a chance to say, oh, we're better fighters or whatever. When there are people out there who are fighting. And they're fighting and bleeding, and they're they have to go through stuff that's harrowing.
Yeah.
I even to be honest, question myself if I was not particularly talented, which I was always like as fast as a lightweight, but
hit like a heavyweight.
But I'm a heavyweight.
Yeah.
But I was faster than a lot of lightweights. That's one of those things that, I was just blessed with. Like, Ali's blessed with that. And, you think about Ali, he's the biggest dude in the ring. People forget about that. But had I not had this kind of advantage, if I don't know if I would be in it if people hit me the way I hit them.
Yeah.
So I don't know, so that's the thing where I say, man, would I be in it like that if I didn't have this, this somewhat extra advantage, you know? And so
Andy Ruiz, did you see the Andy Ruiz
yes.
Anthony Joshua fight?
Yes.
That dude's got some quick fucking hands. And when you say that, it
pop.
Because he's a heavyweight and he's moving like a super flyweight.
Right, yeah. Hey, there's a lot of big muscular guys don't move as well as a fatter guy.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
And he probably wouldn't be doing it either if his hands weren't quick.
Yeah. He's got speed. He's got really good impact power. He's like the short distance. Yeah, and then and I think he's a real fighter.
This is one of my favorite scenes that you've ever done from The Dark Knight.
And I thought my
Heath
jokes
Ledger.
were bad.
Yeah. Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick?
I don't know if we can show this on YouTube.
Make this asshole disappear.
Not like that. Ouch. Yo, what was it like working with Heath Ledger?
Oh man, that dude was so freaking cool.
Did he break character?
No. I mean, he always broke character. You uncut. He was just. We were like doing magic tricks, not that kind of magic trick, but like we were like, because I was like, I'm kind of a closet magician,
Oh, same.
When my girls are growing up, I basically would come home and have a whole bag of tricks for him, like sleight of hand and all that type of stuff. But Heath was doing stuff like that as well. We would do all these games and clown around, and even when you kind of try to leave him alone to his own piece. I mean, he's the one that would spark the conversations and stuff. And so he was just real cool like that. He's just and one of the things I always talk about, like when he was doing the thing about why so serious with me. He's asking me my opinion. Like he would try different voice modulations and stuff. And there's one that he did that was very much like Tom Waits, like that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, when you did that one, man, that made me feel a little like, damn, what's up with this dude?
Yeah.
He's like, you think so? Yeah. And he would do that when
Interesting.
So there was never any signs that his health, his mental health was.
He was fine. Remember, he that happened when he was on the next movie. It was another movie.
Okay.
It wasn't this one. People just there's kind of a narrative because he's doing a dark character that people want to think that he has something to do with that. No, and actually he made a mistake that a lot of people make. You build up your tolerance for sleeping aids, right? And then you get injured. You don't realize that injury, the medication for that injury is doubled what your sleeping aid is. So that's a mistake that a lot of people will make. And I think he made that mistake. I almost made that mistake one time because, and I basically take nothing. I barely take aspirins. I've never drank. I've never been drunk or high in my life. Not a day in my life.
Another one.
Wow.
Another one. That's crazy. We've had like 5 people say that.
Yeah, I just never did it. And it never even called to me.
So interesting. Why I want to talk about Heath more, but like, why is that? Why have you never been drunk or high?
Because I think I'm crazy inside, and I wouldn't want to do the shit that came in my mind. Like when I was younger.
There's no curiosity to try.
No. I felt like I've seen so many people they're not here anymore because they were impaired and at the wrong time. When I told you some stuff about my past. I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I've been close to, there's so many things that I can draw from where I know people are not here today because they were half a second too slow.
Wow.
And I had that, that mercurial, that volatile thing in me that I felt like I'm barely keeping it under control myself. If I did something or drank something, I think I wouldn't be around.
But then you got people like Mike, who's on a yacht right now, living it up. And
We have
somehow
we have a
seems to be
co-host
going.
who's normally here. He's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
He's a real firecracker.
Yeah, hey, bless him. I don't judge folks. I just know for me, it wasn't right for me. And you know what? I found out like a few years ago because my wife and I were in I forgot one of these vacation parts in Mexico, and I tried to I tasted one of those margarita. Is that
margarita.
Yeah.
That's a drink.
Yeah,
That's a thing.
and instantly, like I probably took about 3 sips and my throat started to close up.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so I have an allergy to it, and it's like I think just
Oh,
I
interesting.
sensed that there was, there's a reason why I don't do that.
Why'd you take 3 sips? I'm curious about what about that day did you decide to?
Yeah, we were our last day of vacation, and and I've tasted some alcohol things before. I've never been drunk or anything. I've tasted some stuff to know that I don't like this stuff.
Yeah.
I just
alcohol
don't
tastes
like it.
Alcohol is horrible.
Yeah.
It's
you know, you got a
nothing
real
that-
problem when you think it tastes good.
Yeah,
When I hear people say that, I'm like,
are you out of you're drinking gasoline?
Yeah, I'm always asking people like, what's good about this? Like,
Yeah.
what is it? I mean, hey, but and a lot of people admit that it's for the buzz. Now, for me,
for blowing off steam.
any kind of alteration in my mind, like I freak out. Oh, probably because I had a little bit of an effect when I was 15, and I think I could have been killed. That's probably like
What do you mean you had an effect?
yeah. Well, I was in a boy. I'm just gonna. I don't know if I should. But
You got kids, Michael.
Okay,
But you are on Impulsive, the number one podcast.
I was
in the
in
world.
anybody who knows this project housing called Father Panic Village in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It was one of the most dangerous places you could be in the United States.
Couldn't have they named it something better than Father Panic Village?
Honestly, that's the name of it.
Wow.
Cops would respond an hour later to calls going there.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, I'm in this this house party in Father Panic Village, and I'm sipping on this punch, and I'm thinking it tastes nasty because I had this ice cream cake, right, that I was eating. I was like, it's bitter.
Yep.
And then I'm dancing, and later on, and this chandelier, this like fake ass chandelier, I run into it, and then I think nothing about it, and I just snatch it out of the ceiling. And it's dangling like a foot from the floor, and I just keep dancing. And so people are like, what are you doing? What the hell is it? And I'm like, yeah, man, the thing hit me in the head. I mean, I'm thinking this is absolutely rational. So, then they're like, oh, you drank too much of that punch. I'm like, the punch? What's wrong with the punch? And then somebody to my left, up against the wall, goes, there's grain alcohol in that punch.
Oh, no.
I thought nothing of, I turned, punched him in the head. His head hit the back of the wall. He's out because I didn't know what grain alcohol was.
So why'd you punch him?
Because I know it says alcohol in the bathroom and it says harmful if swallowed, and I don't know.
So you punched the dude who told you what was
That means he knew, and he let me drink it. So he had to get some.
All right.
So it's like, bop. And so then the next thing, I'm fighting with everybody in the house,
Oh,
and
no.
I'm going backwards out the house, and people are swinging things at me and
Was
everything
that
else.
the clip we watched earlier? Was that the actual live footage from what happened the day you drank punch?
Did you use the chandelier?
No. The chandelier was still dangling, and I'm fighting people going out of the house. And I go outside, right? And this is the hood. I'm out front, and there's this rubble and glass and all this stuff. Now I'm outside, and I'm like, holy shit, am I drunk? And so I'm going through my own sobriety test, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I could walk the line, and then I'm like, okay, let me start seeing if I can function and do. I was doing katas, which are like martial art movements and stuff.
Just alone?
And so I'm out there practicing katas. Now, meanwhile, and this was told to me later, that meanwhile, people are grabbing hammers and forks and knives, everything, trying to posse up to come get me. And then they see me out of the window, and somebody goes, he's right there. And everybody just watched me from the window while I'm doing these katas, and they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's getting ready for us.
Yeah, we out.
And mind you, I'm just seeing if I can function because now I'm paranoid. I'm like, ooh, I've never been, altered.
Yeah.
So like I could have been killed. So
Yeah, that definitely has an effect. I see what you're saying now.
yeah,
That
but
probably.
I got legendary status after that, and because that
you
became the story of me, like ready to fight a house full of people, and that back down.
Like, who's this crazy guy doing jujitsu in the yard?
Yeah,
That was you.
Yeah.
Well, you did just rip a chandelier out and
Right.
punch Timmy in the face.
So that's like so later on in college and things like that, I'm like, no, I shouldn't drink
feel it.
anything because I don't know what.
Damn, that's mad. That's mad.
Your liver's
responsible.
probably super happy right now.
Hmm?
Your liver's probably super happy right now.
Oh yeah. I think it made you age too. I've kind of seen folks who drink and they kind of.
Yeah, you don't really have any gray going on. You're looking clean.
Yeah, you
Thanks,
are.
just
Yeah,
for
Clean
men.
and mean.
Yeah. You're looking fresh. But yeah, so rerouting back to Heath Ledger and The Dark Knight, and I want to know what working with Christopher Nolan was like, and how he was, because he's my favorite director, man.
He's cool as hell.
He's cool?
Like he's like so damn cool that it's shocking. I see his movies and I'm thinking, oh, this guy is probably like this
Intense,
eccentric, like brilliant dude. Like I'm doing the scene in the pool room, right? And I'm like, ask him. I said, excuse me, well, my guys, do you want us to feel like we were here like for 10 minutes or we were here for like an hour before? And he's like, you know what? I don't know. What do you think? I'm like, I don't know. We could try both ways. He said, yeah, we'll try both ways. And I'm like, great. And then I said, and I don't know if it's odd to you, but all my guys they're English. They have British accents, but I have an American accent. Do you want us to sound the same? Do you want me to speak? He's like, I hadn't thought about that. What do you think? And I was like,
way.
really? Seriously?
No way.
And we had, believe me, we had more dialogue. There's a lot more stuff that was cut out. But it was one of these things where, it was so chill.
That's crazy.
I even had, there was a guy, Wally, who was a DP. And, I was coming out with that Black Dynamite thing, right? And I had some silly clips of Black Dynamite. And I showed one person and they showed the next person and it's, showing Wally. And then Wally's showing Christopher just as he was like, okay, let's get ready. Oh, and then everything stops and everybody's goofing off of the clips I had from Black Dynamite. And it's like, we're clowning around for like an extra half hour. I'm like, this is like the coolest.
Yo, I would never have guessed that.
No, man, he got to be that had to be one of the most
Christopher Nolan,
relaxing.
don't hate me. Maybe that was a horrible comparison.
No,
It
that
was
dude
intense.
is cool as hell. He is just chill. I've never seen a moment of any tension on that set.
That's great. And maybe that's why the movies are so successful. It surprises me that he hadn't thought about things like what accents you'd have, or because a lot of directors are really into character development. Like Quentin Tarantino, that's literally the only thing he cares about.
Well, yeah, I've worked with Quentin, but on the edited out footage.
I've been in a
Kill
movie.
Bill. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, if you see deleted footage, I'm the only deleted footage.
What's good, Quinn? Damn, what's good?
I really hate to see that.
Sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Wait.
but it's cool because it was. I had a bigger role. There was a big segment that was it was supposed to be myself, Sam Jackson's wife, Natasha Richardson, and it was a segment called House of Blue Leaves, and that's when you would first see the Bill character, and it was supposed to be in this casino setting, and we were going to shoot that in China and everything. But then Quentin had the idea to shoot the massacre at the church, which is a better idea for the seeing the Bill character. And he was apologetic. He's like, Mike, I just thought. And I was like, hey, Quentin, I knew him as a friend before even working with him anyway. Like, so it was like, I didn't take that personal. I was like, hey, that makes sense.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, Dad's calling. GP.
You ought to know you bought it.
What's going on?
I don't
dude?
know,
Everything
bro.
just
Look,
went
look,
wrong.
But then he wanted me to come out and then do part of the scene. and in a flashback type of sequence.
So you were you were her enemy?
Kind of Bill's enemy.
Was
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
Is he into that character development? Because I heard he sits with his actors for extensive periods of time to make sure they're fleshed out inside and out.
It wasn't my experience in that situation, but talking about something that comes full circle. But when in the deleted footage, I mentioned Damo, which Quentin, is he's a historian, and I'm mentioning the Damo, and I'm leading a pack of Chinese guys, and so it's a harken back to Bodhidharma or
Cool.
Damo.
That's cool. That's very
and that's
cool.
the character I'm playing.
That's awesome.
So, that's a little history thing that just kind of,
It all connects.
Yeah.
Comes full circle.
When you do these fight scenes in movies, are you playing to camera? Because I've seen a lot of fighters. I remember like George St. Pierre did a fight scene once, and I forget what movie it was. And Ronda Rousey has had her debut in movies, and they're definitely good. But it didn't come across like some of the actors, like Tom Hardy, for example, who like when he does his fight scenes, something about the way he moves, and you do this too, it looks so much better, if I'm being honest. So what's the translation between being a real fighter and an actor fighter? And how do you make it still look good as opposed to some real fighters who are actually in the octagon who aren't doing as good of a job?
well, yeah, there's a couple of things. One of the things is a lot of real fighters, they're famous by way of their blood and guts and effectiveness. Sometimes, you got a guy who can withstand a lot of punishment. That doesn't show well on screen.
Yeah.
It's not what it's more about the technique. Now you got to have good choreography, because you could have a great fighter and have terrible choreography. There's some Jet Li movies where the way that they would shoot it, the cinematography is not good, and he's one of the most talented martial artists there are. So these elements have to kind of play. But on top of it, why Tom Hardy's so good is because he's acting throughout the fight. A lot of people become automatons when they fight. A lot of even martial artists, they get into that and people are trying to do Bruce Lee, and doing all that kind of craziness, and it's like, who is the character? Like if you got basically, imagine you got Robert De Niro, who's like this gruff character, or Christopher Walken, who's unpredictable, and Jack Nicholson, whatever. But when they fight, they're doing choreography. But imagine if they fought with the characters they're playing. Like imagine a Christopher Walken fighting style. You see what I mean? So if you choreograph for character and you stay within the character, now it's really interesting. Like, Ali Frazier. You've got two personalities. Now it's interesting, not just people doing movement.
Yep.
So, someone like Tom Hardy and myself, my thing is like, I want to show the acting through the action.
Very cool.
Some people just don't learn how to do that. Yeah.
I love that. I feel like because I've had some fight scenes too, and I was really excited to do them, and I still to this day love doing fight scenes. But when I saw them, I was like, it is definitely an art, like that transition from like being a real fighter and knowing how to move and fight someone in real life, and then looking good on screen. Like you have to open to camera and all that shit. Is that frustrating?
No, I understand it a great deal. What's frustrating is like, man, it's like kind of, there's a Fred Astaire reference. Fred Astaire, you shoot him, you know who Fred Astaire is? I'm talking about older.
No, Dylan knows.
Or like say Michael Jackson. There's a Michael Jackson there. You see his full frame and there's the beauty. But if you cut it up, then you seeing his face and then showing his feet and all that, you miss it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're an exceptional mover, you want to see that whole movement. So a lot of fight scenes are kind of created in an editing room. And so there's times where I could do a oneer, like when I'm fighting 4 people in one continuous thing, and then some asshole
Editor
will shoot like, we'll break that up.
Yeah.
And show somebody going. You know what I mean? And then another person going.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of it. And it's like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Or some kind of insert. So you're kind of stuck between how they're going to edit the thing. And so, it's got those elements all have to be in play.
Yeah. You got to trust, right? You got to trust that like the director or editor will do a good job.
Yeah, and sometimes that's when I, reserve my asshole card and say, okay, there's not going to be a B camera on here.
Oh, you'll do that?
Oh yeah, buddy.
Wow.
Oh man, because it's just like no.
Wow.
Because there's a camera operator that's there and they want something to do, and it's like, nope, you're not gonna threaten this fight scene.
The integrity of the fight scene
by shooting something that some editor might use. So that's
because by the way, they always will. They'll use the shot that you told them not to, or they agreed not to, or you don't want them to. My favorite thing to do, and like pay attention to this when you watch fight scenes from now on with multiple people, watch the people in the background. This shit is they're just standing there and be like, and, like out of nowhere just start moving just to like fill the space and create motion. And actually, I love you, Christopher Nolan, but he did it in a couple of scenes in The Dark Knight. And I like, I think one dude got like hit by literally nothing and like fell down. And I was like, no, not like this.
Yeah, you can't really redo those if you got a super good fight scene on your hands, right?
Right. There's ways to get around that, but it's that's probably on the third watching of something. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see that the first time.
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't see it the first time. You got lucky. So you did the voice for Green Lantern in the video game. And have they had conversations with you to play the live action Jon Stewart?
This is horrible. I did? Shoot.
Oh no.
I think I did. Like it's weird. Like especially with voice stuff, you go in there. And the way I'm just like, what I'm doing Tuesday, or I'm doing
because it's one day,
then,
right?
Like years later, it comes out, and I forgot I did it.
Yeah,
that happens all the time
with voiceover.
So, because I'm like, did I do? And I had to go back. And I'm like, yeah, I believe I did.
He goes, this is horrible.
Wow.
Well, VO is
a good problem.
VO's quick. Like you stand in the booth. Like I'm sure you probably recorded for a day or two.
Yeah.
And then it comes out, and you talking all day has led to like a full storyline in a video game.
Yeah. I just recently did some. What was it?
Well, it looks like we're stuck again.
Whatever.
Like,
I did a whole voice thing. Cartoon that's going to be they're like, all right, so in 2021 we're going to do this, and I'm like, I'm already forgetting who you are and everything about this. I'm not even going to think that I'm going to remember. You guys will call me up and somebody's going to have to explain to me what this is.
So, all right. So that makes me curious. How many of your projects are you like truly like invested in, or are you just going there because, you're perfect for the role or the voiceover perhaps?
Well, I got my own projects that I'm really invested in, but there's other like, there's other things that it's like I keep it in the rear view. I'm just like, I do it to my best ability.
Yeah, for sure.
But then once it's done, I don't even think about it.
Yeah. What are you working on now? Next projects?
Well, I got a few things coming out. I got a movie called Send It.
Cool. Send It
is about
awesome.
kiteboarding.
We always do that.
We're about that. We're about sending it.
And then Undercover Brother 2.
Shut the fuck up! Impossible! Yeah. Oh my God!
What's going on?
Yo,
yeah,
that is one of my favorite movies,
really,
of all time. Undercover Brother.
Oh.
I quote it all the time. It's one of those movies that I think I saw like at my cabin. It was like stowed away in like a little VCR, and I put it in. I watched it, and then I thought it was so funny.
Oh boy.
I quote that movie all the time.
Really?
Undercover Brother 2. Who's the Undercover Brother?
Me.
Shut the fuck up. What an honor.
Well, thanks, man.
What an honor. When is that coming out?
Well, now I'm nervous, man. It's like one of your favorite movies, and I just like, man.
This movie. Spencer pulled up oh my
Dave
God.
Chappelle? Is Dave making an appearance?
Chappelle in it?
No, he's not in it. No,
I'm legitimately obsessed with this movie. This shit shaped a lot of my childhood. Undercover Brother. Solid.
Yeah, is that
Do you do
Denise?
that?
I was gonna say, is
uh,
that Denise Richards?
Yeah, well, Denise Richards is in the Send It movie.
Really?
Incredible.
Yeah. So I was like,
Does she
Yeah,
still look
she's-
like that?
not quite. Nobody still looks like that.
Not
Time has
quite.
passed.
Yo, I've taken so much comedy from this movie. Like, man, I feel like I'm gonna make references just no one's gonna know. There's a scene where like the two girls are fighting, and then it turns into this like super hot fight scene, and like the two guys who are supposed to be enemies like start taking out popcorns. They bring like recliners in and like sit back. And man, I love a good comedy. I like old classic comedy.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm excited for that. Obviously,
Yeah.
what else?
Well,
I'm off the hook about Green Lantern. If they ask.
Are you playing Green Lantern?
no. I
In the live action?
Is that happening?
Ryan Reynolds killed it.
Jon Stewart, though.
John Stewart.
I will.
Hey, I mean, I haven't talked to anybody about that.
Great.
Hey, I wouldn't mind.
You probably fucking kill it.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do some more like action stuff.
tight.
I'm gonna trim down like 10 pounds and
Oh, for real?
get ready. I'm
What
doing a
are
movie.
you at right now?
I'm about 230.
Okay.
I guess. I'm gonna try to get down to 210.
Damn.
Close to it. if I can.
What's your diet like?
Well, now it's going to be pretty much, low carbs. And I when I really try to trim down, it's more liquid. I'm just going to be
you
doing
get-
a lot of shakes and juices.
But
Got
you
it.
get angry when you're cutting per se?
No.
You don't.
Not at all.
I get pissed. I get livid.
You shouldn't be hungry.
Oh.
You shouldn't be hungry. So that's a
a
sign
lot
that
of
something
sense.
something might be a little wrong, because you should be like be steadily 2.5 hours, 3 hours, that type of thing.
Really?
You should be like cussing out some of your meals. Like I don't want to eat right now. And
Really?
yeah, man, because
alright.
we'll talk about that. I'll tell you.
Yo, for real, we should train sometime. Or I mean,
you're
'cause-
right down the street,
Yeah,
bro.
and we box every day. So come by
Every day.
5-6 days a week. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, there's a few things that like I say, I'm a nerd with it.
tight.
So there's a few
Tight.
things I would love to like kind of
You should come. You should
Show
should-
you.
I'm sparring next Tuesday. I think you should come watch and just critique and see if I can improve in any way. Because yeah, you are the expert, man.
Well, yeah, I'm a nerd with it. I'm a nerd, but
need
respect to your coach though. It's like with his blessing.
Yeah, we got
No, he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure he could teach you some things, and I bet you could.
got a fight coming up, so got to add everything you can to your arsenal.
Oh, is that the KS, TS,
TSA,
TSA.
what's it?
TSI,
TSA pre-check.
Yeah, case
pounds per square inch.
Yeah, which is that? KSI? Is it?
No,
what-
it's
We're
name is
trying to
Kissy.
figure it out.
Kissy.
Yeah.
Kissy.
Pronounced
okay. Yeah, but I guess some stuff. Like
I don't know what you just said, man. I have no idea what you just said.
yeah, it's just you don't have to know, because if I go, you
just cast a
what's up,
spell.
it's
I
like,
got
yeah,
it.
well, you don't care more.
So I
So
understood
you get it.
that.
Yeah, that's what that means.
All right.
Get it now.
Yo, let's do the audio only right now. It's on Spotify and iTunes. Same as this, but guess what? It's audio only. We're gonna get a little deeper. Won't take long, but yeah, I want to ask Michael J. White a few more questions about his life, bro. Thank you for coming on Impulsive.
Hey, thank you, man.
Of course, man. Where can they find you on social media?
Oh, official Michael Jai on Instagram, and then that number sign Michael Jai White on everything else.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Here we go. Thank you for listening to Impulsive. Hit that subscribe button, the #1 podcast in the world. Let's see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.
Harkens back to what I was talking about. It's just always just have the courage to be who you are. It's just there's not going to be another you. So embrace that. That's what's special. That's what makes you who you are. Don't lose that for anybody.